The Nevada desert holds secrets. Deep within its barren expanse, hidden from prying eyes, lies Area 51. This highly classified military base has been the source of endless speculation for decades. Rumors swirl about government cover-ups, crashed alien spacecraft, and extraordinary technology. It was here, in the desolate landscape near a dry lakebed called Groom Lake, that a man named Bob Lazar claimed to have encountered something truly extraordinary. His story, a captivating blend of science fiction and alleged reality, continues to fascinate and polarize those who dare to explore the unknown. Bob Lazar's path to S4 was unconventional, to say the least. He claimed that his recruitment was shrouded in secrecy. It began, he alleged, with a series of interviews and background checks, culminating in a meeting with a shadowy figure he knew only as Dennis. Lazar described being flown to a nondescript location and then driven in a blacked-out van to S4. The secrecy was paramount, and Lazar was sworn to silence, forbidden from discussing his work with anyone. Upon his arrival at S4, Lazar claimed to have been struck by the facility's advanced technology. He described laboratories filled with equipment unlike anything he had ever seen before. The atmosphere, he recounted, was one of intense secrecy and urgency. Lazar was assigned to a team of scientists and engineers, their task to unlock the mysteries of the alien craft housed within the facility. The project, Lazar claimed, was compartmentalized. Each team at S4 focused on a different aspect of the alien technology. Some studied the craft's materials, while others attempted to decipher its control systems. Lazar's expertise in physics led him to the propulsion system, a technology that would become both a source of fascination and frustration. He described spending countless hours poring over documents, examining strange components, and attempting to understand the principles behind the craft's ability to seemingly defy gravity. The alien craft that Bob Lazar claimed to have worked on, nicknamed the Sport Model, was central to his story. He described it as a disc-shaped vehicle, approximately 16 feet in diameter, with a smooth metallic exterior. The interior, he claimed, was surprisingly small, with room for only a few occupants. There were no visible controls or instruments in the conventional sense. Lazar's most intriguing claims centered around the Sport Model's propulsion system. He alleged that the craft was powered by an element not found on the periodic table, which he referred to as element 115. According to Lazar, element 115, when subjected to the right conditions, produced a gravitational wave that allowed the craft to manipulate gravity and achieve incredible speeds. The concept of element 115 has been a subject of much debate. At the time of Lazar's claims, element 115 was purely theoretical. However, in 2003, scientists in Russia successfully synthesized the element, which was officially added to the periodic table as moscovium. While the creation of moscovium seemed to lend credence to Lazar's story, it's important to note that the properties of the synthesized element do not align with the effects that Lazar attributed to element 115. Perhaps the most startling aspect of Bob Lazar's story was his alleged encounter with extraterrestrial beings. He claimed that during his time at S4, he was given access to briefing documents that described the history and involvement of extraterrestrials on Earth. These documents, according to Lazar, suggested that the beings responsible for the craft had been visiting our planet for thousands of years. He claimed that these beings, often referred to as greys in UFO lore, were described as being small in stature with large heads and black almond-shaped eyes. Lazar claimed that his encounter with the extraterrestrial beings was brief and unsettling. He described seeing them through a small window in one of the S4 laboratories. The beings, he alleged, were being held in a separate area of the facility, possibly for observation or study. Lazar's descriptions of the extraterrestrial beings aligned with many other accounts from alleged UFO witnesses, further fueling speculation about the government's potential knowledge of alien visitors. Section 5. Deciphering Alien Engineering. Bob Lazar's alleged work at S4 went beyond simply observing the Sport Model and reading briefing documents. He claimed that he and his team were tasked with attempting to reverse engineer the alien technology. This proved to be an immensely challenging task. Lazar described the technology as being so advanced that it was difficult to even comprehend, let alone replicate. The propulsion system in particular proved to be a significant hurdle. Lazar claimed that the technology relied on principles of physics that were far beyond anything understood by mainstream science at the time. The concept of manipulating gravity, while not entirely new to theoretical physics, was still considered to be in the realm of science fiction. Lazar's descriptions of the alien craft's propulsion system, while fascinating, were met with skepticism from many in the scientific community. Despite the challenges, Lazar maintained that progress was being made at S4. He claimed that his team was able to make some headway in understanding the basic principles behind the alien technology. However, he also suggested that the government's ultimate goal was not just to understand the technology, but to potentially replicate it for their own purposes. This notion of a government cover-up and a race to weaponize alien technology became a central theme in Lazar's story and fueled public imagination. Section 6. The Price of Truth. Bob Lazar's decision to go public with his story came with significant personal risk. He claimed that he had been threatened and that his life had been turned upside down. Lazar's claims, if true, would expose one of the biggest government secrets in history. The potential consequences of such a revelation were enormous. Lazar alleged that shortly after he began speaking out, he was followed, his phone was tapped, and his home was ransacked. He claimed that he was harassed by government agents who were determined to silence him. These alleged attempts to intimidate and silence him only served to further convince Lazar that he was on the right track, that he had stumbled upon something truly significant that the government was desperate to keep hidden. Despite the risks and the constant fear of reprisal, Lazar remained steadfast in his claims. He maintained that his story was true, that he had witnessed something extraordinary, and that the public had a right to know. His willingness to speak out, despite the personal cost, resonated with many who believed that the government was not being truthful about its knowledge of UFOs and extraterrestrial life. Section 7. Lazar's story explodes. Bob Lazar's story first came to public attention in 1989 through a series of interviews with investigative reporter George Knapp on Las Vegas television station KLAS. Lazar, initially appearing in silhouette and using the pseudonym Dennis, detailed his alleged experiences at S4. His claims were met with a mixture of astonishment, skepticism, and fear. The interviews caused a media sensation. Lazar's claims were so outlandish, so far beyond the realm of ordinary experience, that they captured the public's imagination. People were captivated by the story of a seemingly ordinary physicist who claimed to have stumbled upon a world of government secrets, alien technology, and extraterrestrial beings. The story tapped into long-held beliefs about UFOs and government cover-ups, igniting a firestorm of debate and speculation. The media attention brought Lazar both supporters and detractors. Some people were convinced by his sincerity and the level of detail he provided in his accounts. Others dismissed his claims as an elaborate hoax, pointing to inconsistencies in his story and the lack of physical evidence to support his allegations. Section 8. Legacy of Doubt and Intrigue. More than 3 decades after Bob Lazar first made his claims, his story continues to be a subject of intense debate and speculation. There is no definitive proof to corroborate his allegations, and many aspects of his story remain shrouded in mystery. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, Lazar's claims have had a profound impact on UFO research and public perception. Lazar's story brought the concept of reverse engineering alien technology into the mainstream. It fueled speculation about the government's potential knowledge of and involvement with extraterrestrial life. His claims inspired countless books, documentaries, and fictional accounts, further blurring the lines between reality and science fiction. Whether Bob Lazar's story is true or a fabrication remains a subject of debate. His claims, while extraordinary and lacking in verifiable evidence, continue to resonate with those who believe that the truth about UFOs and extraterrestrial life is being kept from the public. Lazar's story serves as a reminder of the enduring power of mystery and the human fascination with the unknown. His legacy, regardless of whether it is ultimately deemed truth or fiction, has left an indelible mark on ufology and continues to inspire both wonder and skepticism in equal measure.